Hey, what's everybody? How's everybody doing? Today's topic is manifesting, and we're gonna go ahead and invite Corona on here. And while we're waiting for her, there's a three-step program that started for me when I started to watch The Secret. But I guess you're always in alignment with that. But it was the steps, and I may have evolved them over time, so they might not be exactly like it is in the Secret. So you set the intention, you align with that intention. Important thing with alignment is becoming the person that you need to become, and then you receive. And it's not just like a one-time thing, it's repeating that. Set the intention, align with that intention. Aligning is becoming the person that you need to become. And then we're going to get into the details on that. And then the third would be receive. Manifesting. Who loves to manifest? Who's good at manifesting? How can I manifest Corona?
Hey,
There we go.
we made it.
I don't know if you heard the part, but as soon as I said, how do I manifest Corona, you
Oh,
popped on.
oh shit. Magical alignment.
Magical alignment. So, as I was telling the people earlier, a few seconds ago, that manifesting, this is a three-step process that I originally took from the Secret, and it may not be totally accurate to the Secret at this point because I haven't seen that movie in a while. So we set an intention. Step one, set an intention. Step two is align. And alignment is becoming the person that you need to become in order to manifest that situation. One of the people that I was talking to the other day, I was having a conversation, and they were saying they were watching a YouTube video, and the person says, why don't homeless people just align with, hey, Jerome, you want to come on? Why don't homeless people just align with buying a house? And then I'm like, well, why do they even have to buy a house?
Yeah.
If they're gonna use the law of attraction, why do they even want to do
And
buy
is
the
that
house?
even is that even in alignment to what their reality is too, right? Like sometimes you have to align your reality with where you want to go.
Exactly. So that I mean that comes to the there's lots of beliefs that
Right.
they might have
Mm-hmm.
um, with owning a house. And would it be possible to do that? I know a situation for somebody that I helped out at the end of the last year. He was in a situation now. He has an RV that's parked in front of this place, and he's getting paid $1,500 a month to watch this property that a lot of people were coming in and stealing from this property.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting paid to live at a place.
Amazing.
And I mean that's a beautiful thing to be able to manifest that.
Sure.
I know sometimes I have trouble manifesting stuff for myself because I don't care. I'm not putting a lot of energy at caring about manifesting stuff for myself. I'm really good at manifesting stuff for other people. And I know I see repeatedly that happen. And I put most of my energy towards manifesting people that I can help them manifest.
Go buy me a lotto ticket. What are you waiting for? Manifest this millionaire lifestyle.
So first of all, it would only be temporary because you need to become the person you need to become to appreciate that, so you don't spend it. And then 5 years later, you're asking me to help you manifest a
Another
lottery
lotto
ticket again.
ticket.
Yeah. So I may have used this example before, but there's the first person that helped me with breathing for peace before you did. I had probably met you at that point, but the first person that helped me with breathing for peace. There's one summer that I hadn't seen her in a while, and then she comes over to San Diego State, and there happened to be a concert being played. So there at San Diego State, there's this theater called the Open Air Theater, and we're sitting on a bench by the open air theater. And we're close, and that was enough for me. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes. We're sitting together, a woman and a man sitting together. Who's more apt that they're gonna give them something? Somebody comes up and gives me a ticket, and then another person comes to me and said they want to buy a ticket. Took the money. Then another person comes up and they had 2 tickets for sale. Gave them the money.
Oh, wow.
And I was gonna say, well, I didn't even have the desire to want to go into the concert. And then I go to her and I go, you want to go in the concert, or do you want me to sell these tickets? And she said she wants to go in the concert. So she had the desire.
It
and
for you.
I was helping her manifest her why she was thinking as we were talking together.
Wow.
And we didn't even talk about it at all, but it was in her vibration.
Has to be in the vibration. And you know, writing, right? Writing it down, putting it on paper, not just thinking about it, because once you put it down on written word, it almost becomes a lot more solidified as far as your thoughts go with the intent.
Yes.
Hey, Jerome.
Welcome.
Come on here. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good.
So you just typed, Jerome, that manifesting is an inner process of healing. What do you mean by that?
Oh, I just mean to manifest, you usually have to do some healing. Like there's some limiting beliefs, but those limiting beliefs could be there because of some past trauma, childhood ideas and identity. And so that has to change. And then if you change that, then the manifestation is more natural, you know.
Well, that's
like,
one of that's. Go ahead.
I was gonna say for an example, there's a felt sense of not feeling good enough or deserving, you know, because you got punished so much and got spanked so many times, and how a person can process that is just, I'm not good enough, you know, and always being taken away, and you know, disciplined like that. Everybody processes those things different, but you can process it in such a way that, man, if I mess up, I do wrong things, I know I'm not a good person, so I don't deserve that. They call that, it goes by many names. You can call it calling back your spirit, calling your spirit back, soul retrieval. But it's just healing that limiting beliefs. But if you just try to layer a positive affirmation on top of that core belief that's been reinforced, it's kind of hard to manifest. You know, the subconscious mind ain't buying it.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things that I was saying is the 3 steps is, and this can go in many directions, but set the intention and then align, and the line is becoming the person that you need to become. So a lot of times people might not think they're manifesting, but they're manifesting the lesson that they need to learn in order to do that. And that can come across as healing or whatever situation. So you might want to manifest the perfect relationship, but you manifest a bad relationship so you can learn something, so you can manifest the perfect relationship.
Yeah, a lot of people say, I'm done with learning. I don't want to learn no more, no elevation, no transformation. For me, I'm good. Some people really feel like that.
What do you think? What do you think why do you think that is?
Because it's hard, you know. It's not a cakewalk, you know. Especially some people are really overcome with feelings and emotions, and so those emotions are so strong, and they don't have a certain foundation of self. Feels like you could be lost in that experience. You know, you could just, and that's a scary thing, to be lost in fear, to be lost in doubt. And it's a real kinesthetic experience of, the body's tingling with anxiety, heart's beating fast, fear of loss, you know. And so to go deeper into heal, you got to go into that. Like, oh no, I don't want to go into. They trying to run away from it, you know. Thus you have various diversions, distractions, and sometimes addictions and stuff like that. But you can but it's required to sit with that and go all the way through. And at the core of that, open to source, or realize what the soul is yearning for, and open to that which is usually love, peace, and various ways of security or acknowledgement, and then just let that come and feel the being. But you have to go into it and acknowledge it first. Any part of us that tries to hold back from feeling that thoroughly, that's how much will be still left as residue and not resolved. Gotta resolve that, so that later on, when you think about it, instead of going to the pain, you already know the core of what you're wanting, opening to that. It doesn't go through the mire of the
trenches.
Yeah.
So would you like to give us an example, Jerome? Corona, what are you looking at? What are you working on manifesting?
Goddamn.
I'll go after you.
I think
you know what? I think a year ago around this time, we were meeting up maybe once a week to do manifestation, visioning as a group, I think.
Timely, huh? Full circle moment. I think
Look at that.
for me, like being independent and not struggling to find like a source of income, it's funny because I was having a conversation with my family from Mexico about this, and I jokingly but also very seriously said, I just want to get paid to live. And my family started laughing, and they're like, where do I apply? I'm like, well, let's go apply together. Wherever this job is, we're gonna find it. I think that's really it. I think with my experience with the union and undergoing all the things that I went through, I learned a lot. I grew a lot. Just not just professionally, but also like independently as a person. And if there's one thing that I've taken from that, it's all in the relationships. It's all in the partnerships that you build with your community, and how you're creating organic energy around that. I don't know how that's, obviously I think I have a hard time envisioning it, and I think that's probably where the struggle is for manifesting it for me, because I'm too focused on what is this going to look like? What does that mean? What kind of job is this? You know what I mean?
You need to be more of a running back instead of a defensive back, because you're backpedaling.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's hard to know what it is going to look like. We just feel sometimes it's just a vague sense of knowing this ain't right, and I got to get over there, and I don't. So what you can just start with where you are. There's something that you're really wanting, right? That the soul is yearning for. Now, where do you feel that in the body? When we're talking about this topic, you can notice where you feel it in the body, because the body will tell you. The intelligence that breathes the breath, beats the heart, and the body will tell you. So just for a moment, just tune into the body. You're thinking about this topic. You're feeling the grind. You feel how hard this can be sometimes.
It's at the core.
Where is that? Like region?
The stomach.
Right there at the
core,
stomach.
at the root.
So go right there to the core of the stomach, right? And what's the emotion there? Let the emotion come up.
Feel nervousness.
Yeah. Yep. And there's a nervousness. Let yourself fully feel the nervousness. You don't want to think about it, but just feel the nervousness, and all the way into the nervousness. Now the nervous is there because what do you fear might happen? The nervous is
exactly nothing. That's probably why.
And
the fear
if nothing,
of nothing.
Okay, so if nothing happens, how does that make you feel about yourself? So nothing happens, and then what does that make you feel? What's the feeling you have now about yourself?
That insecurity.
That's the core. That's a core belief there, that you're not safe, right?
Yeah.
Is that Is that what you mean? But I don't want to put words in your mouth though. But security, to feel safe.
Yeah.
So with the core of your being, what is it you're really wanting? If you just flip that, at the core of your being, right there, that nervousness is about what the soul is yearning for. What is it wanting? Let it speak. Let the feeling speak.
Movement.
Movement. But okay, but it was fear that you're not going to get security. So what is it you do want? The opposite would that be security. That's on an intellectual level. But I want you to drop down into the feeling and feel what is it that is really wanting. It doesn't want to be insecure. There's a feeling of insecurity. What is it?
I feel like it just always goes back to, it's like, maybe there's a lesson I'm not learning.
No, here it is right here. What is it really wanting? What is it you're really yearning for? That you're not getting, it creates this feeling of insecurity.
Reassurance, safety,
there we go.
stability.
Now that's beautiful. So the core belief is that you're insecure. Nothing's gonna, whatever you do is not gonna work.
Yeah.
The soul's prayer that was there that you came in this lifetime with, the prayer is for security, support, nurturing. That's what the soul is yearning for. And that's beautiful. Everybody should want that. So at the core of your being, right there, the stomach, you can feel the yearning for that. And you can also feel how before even this situation, before you became an adult, how much energy has been going into trying to get that experience of security, acknowledgement, assurance, and all the things you probably is directed on a subconscious level. Directs our choices. Security, assurance. Can you notice that? So now, if that's okay, that's beautiful. So the soul has been praying for this for a long time. It's just that you've been doing too much work trying to make it happen, trying to fight, control the experience, trying to sometimes maybe wanting an outside experience to change, somebody else to be different, something to be different. So right there at the core of your being, notice how much energy has been going into it. And this is where you just relax. Relax the stomach, relax the core. From reaching, striving, trying to get an experience, trying to make it happen. Just let the soul rest. And you can feel it. If you bring your awareness there, just soften that whole area. Let the soul rest. And that's important because in that letting go, that's an opening. Another way is to allow. Another word is to surrender. But that surrender and allowing is like a door opening to grace. So you're just going to open right there at the stomach, right there at the core, like a window or door opening to the breeze or light of the day. You're just letting that breeze or light come in. You don't have to try to make it come in. You don't have to try to will it to come in, barter with it. You just relax and open and just wait for it. Now already, if you're following along, you can feel that place soften, yeah? That's the affirmation coming in. That's the reassurance coming in. That's the energy to accomplish the security that you need right there. And it's healing to the body too. So this is what I mean now. You're the embodiment now. If you can feel that, now you're an embodiment. If you let that marinate in you, that you're an embodiment of security, assurance. And the law of manifestation and metaphysics says we attract who we are more than what we want. So you just now at the core, you're embodying that felt sense, security, assurance. So just let that spread to the body. I just want to make sure. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
So now what you're gonna do? Just make yourself really big. Let that just expand. Not that you're trying to control or manipulate. Just expand that energy. You already have a big energy, to do the work you do. Expand that out now from the heart to everything in your circle. to your home, to your health, your relationships, finances, work, interactions. So now what you're doing is you're expanding your energetic field. The new word, your quantum field, you're expanding that field of energy, of assurance and security. So now the universe is going to show up to you and say yes. And this is neat because, see, you just relaxed and let that happen. You didn't have to try to like make it happen, will it to happen, manifest an affirmation. You just relaxed and open, and that's good because, see, that means you can't mess it up because you didn't do it. You just open and allowed. So you are secure. Your very nature is to be secure. That was your soul's prayer. So you just keep opening. Anytime there's like a little, I call it a knock on the door, little nudge about needing to be secure and assurance, go to that place where you feel it and just open and let that come in. So the universe says yes, yes, yes.
A lot of
Yes.
breath work. A lot of breath work. I can feel every time I try to like hyper focus on it, it's that feeling of tenseness.
Mm-hmm.
And I focus on it more, and I have to do that breath work. Because every time I think about it, it's like, oh,
you can feel the breathing stop.
Yeah.
That's natural. Yep, that's natural. You know what you could do? Okay, when you focus on, you bring awareness to it and you relax and the breathing stops, don't try to breathe. Just let it stop. Watch. Just do it right now. Just do it right now. Watch, something neat's gonna happen. Okay? You can feel the restriction?
Yeah.
Yeah, just relax and just let it be there. Don't even try to breathe. Just open. Because you're opening to that source that of all security, assurance. It's that same source that beats the heart. You don't have to try to think of that and make that happen. You don't have to, it breathes your breath. It beats the heart, organizes with perfect timing and intelligence, all the working of the internal organs. But that source is
It
breathing.
disrupts the natural breathing pattern.
Right. Because there's been a trauma there. There's been a trauma there. So to heal it, just relax, don't try to breathe, and just wait for the felt sense of breathing to happen. But keep your awareness right at the place of the core, of the stomach. Just keep it there. And I guarantee you, just keep it there right now. It should happen within the minute. I can help it too. Just and just wait for it. And just allow the experience of being breathed so that you don't have to try to breathe. And that source that moves and breathes all creation, the source of all security and assurance, breathes you into being. And so now you are being breathed. It may be shallow, but let that be okay. Just hold your awareness there, and just keep opening, and just allow the experience of being breathed. And at some point, you're gonna take a breath. You're gonna take a deep breath. Watch. On its own, it'll happen. Just open. And you'll feel those very muscles and nerves soften. Create space. And that's good news, because that is saying that source is nurturing you. It's assuring you that you are being taken care of. You don't have to do it yourself. Because if you try to do the breathing exercise, now there's some really good breathing exercises that you could do, but those are all willful breaths. Now that's you doing the work again. But then that goes back to feeling like nothing, the fear of nothing is going to happen unless you do the work. But here you're getting a chance to notice that source that moves and breathes all life that grows these trees and makes beautiful flowers is breathing you into being and saying yes to your existence. Can you feel your breath back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to try. You didn't have to focus hard on the breath. Just let it happen. And if you just open and surrender long enough, let that source come. Now you're invoking a presence that's not usually talked about in scientific, even when they talk about the breath. They're not addressing this element that's invoked by surrender, whether it be through the breath or it be through a belief system or through movement. It's a powerful, and that's what does the healing on the quantum level. When you're doing energy work,
Yeah.
that's what does the healing. Yeah. So you're the embodiment. You're the embodiment of security and assurance, life, light, and just expand that as you move through the day. Yeah. And watch and see what happens. Yeah, because everything is energy on that core level now that we've just invoked. That's your energetic signature. That's part of your energetic signature. As you move to the day and you encounter people with this vibe now, that you are the security and assurance. Universe is so you say yes and show up to you to affirm that. Yeah.
Did you feel the shift, Steve?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So there should feel like there's more space in your body too.
I not only felt the shift for you, I felt the shift in me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. You know, and that's good too as healers. As we do this work, some people worried about picking up other people's negativity.
Mm-hmm.
But when we open and surrender, everybody's doing it. So there's no negativity to pick up because everybody's just waiting for presence to come and do the healing. Now, if I start to do the work, like I have to do the healing, and if me doing it, now I bear the burden of the karma.
Yeah. That an example I've used for a long time. My brother Mike, he's allergic to bees, and when I was 8 years old, I went to the hospital with him, and he had the shots that they gave him that supposedly they were to save his life if he got stung by a bee. And I asked him what as an 8-year-old, I asked him what's in the shot, and they said the thing that he's allergic to. So a lot of times, it's the thing that is supposed to heal us is a thing that's our poison. When it becomes too much of a problem, when you take too much of it,
it's the microdose.
And that's when we're not willing to learn the lesson, and then we're ended up taking too much of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, we don't have models of this inner process to point that out. Now, believe it or not, I think the models are there, but they're so obscured in mythology, we don't know that they're there. You know, like, you know, in various religions and indigenous cultures, this process is there. It's a natural thing, but to apply it specifically to an issue like we just did, a lot of times that's lost in the practitioner and people doing the practice.
That's a really useful tool. I had never thought about it that way. I mean, I feel like I've been conditioned in my healing process and like the learning of the healing process to literally stop and breathe and send breathing energies. And it sometimes it's almost like overbearing. Like I can't breathe.
Could you say when you are breathing, you're not being proactive in your breathing? You're breathing when you get to the point of not when it's too late, but when it's approaching, when it's getting worse.
Yeah.
It's it comes down to being worthy, which is all about that alignment, being worthy of what you want to become, is being able to a worthy person will be more proactive in giving their body what it needs, giving their mind what it needs, meeting the right people that help them thrive in this world, instead of waiting till it's too late and then you have to attract a negative energy to remind you that you're worthy? Why not attract a positive energy or negative energy, whatever you need, on a consistent basis, so you can live your higher self?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, you don't want to wait for the 2x4 method.
What's the 2x4 method?
Why 2x4?
You don't want a 2x4 when you get knocked in the head with a 2x4 to let you know that it's time to make a change. You got to do something, you know. That's what I call it. You know, like
anytime you need it, just call me, and I'll
you'll
be
bring the
on the way
2x4
to LA with the 2x4, but with consent.
I thought you
with
were
consent.
I thought you were just gonna send me another bitch slap vid.
I forgot about that. I sent her a video of just like anytime she needs it, just
Oh God.
I just slap yourself in my hand anytime you need it.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, I can tell too, if I let things go too long, it'll start to manifest in my body. And then that's when I know, okay, what is this? I got to say hello to what's going on. You know, it's going on there. That's the 2x4. And if you let it go long enough, you don't want it to manifest in, you know, finances and career or relationships.
Yeah.
It can go in all those different ways, you know, not only health, but yeah.
Jerome, this week, I was telling Corona this, but this week I was listening to videos of toxic women online for almost 2 days. And it changed the way I saw women.
Oh.
It was like an experiment.
It was.
I know people do that all the time.
And then you started pulling me into that toxicity. You remember that?
I don't know.
So not all women, not you, Jeanette. I wasn't talking about you, Jeanette. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's funny. So what was the consensus? Like, what's the mode of operation in that dimension?
Well,
what was the
one thing when I went out, it made me more attractive to more women because they saw the wound. And somebody felt the wound from one of my relationships that's far gone. That wound came back.
Okay.
But I still wasn't like responsive and like reacting and like I probably was getting mad, but it wasn't like I wasn't reacting to it still, because I mean I've changed, but I got tight. That's why I got tight. I was like, oh.
I see, you know, honestly, I see some of those. They come on my feed as these suggestions. I might have clicked on it. They always come on my feed.
But try 2 days of it.
That's rough. Yeah. Hard to relax.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you're shifting your reality. For sure.
Yeah.
You change the way you go into that interaction.
They just gotta stop.
Yeah.
Like, just stop engaging. Just all of it. Just don't even, yeah. It's like, yeah. It's a constant, you know how that we came to that point when you're feeling that feeling of wanting a security and assurance and trying to get that. They just stay there, just constant, you know, guarding and protecting and being, you know, turning into the oppressor and aggressiveness and feeling like a victim, and they just stay in that part. They never come to the point where they just relax and let the soul rest for a moment. It's a constant.
And another thing, the guy that he was on Joe Rogan, the guy that put everything together for the ads. He said that they don't track, like, say I'm talking, the stuff that comes up on your timeline on YouTube, the optimization, the stuff that comes up on your feed doesn't have to do with if they overhear you saying stuff. But what it does have to do is if Jerome's listening, because your phone number is in my phone and we're having interactions and Corona's in there. If you're listening to a lot of negative stuff, or if you're going to go fly to Mexico or something, then travel things about Mexico will come into my feed. So what I'm saying that's a technology side. So if I'm listening to a lot of those videos, then I'm talking to you, Jerome. You're
I see.
You're taking in that energy.
I might be seeing something. Somebody, yeah, that
For
makes
sure.
sense.
I'm glad I don't
But
have any ex-girlfriends.
but you have the you have the well, you still listen to those videos and then have a bad belief of what you are as a woman.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's many different things, or
Mhm.
or the judgment, but you're taking in those beliefs. But Jerome has a healing practice that he may not physically say, "Oh, Jedi Steve is watching these videos." He might something come up and just all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I got to heal that,"
Mm.
and
That's usually the thing.
he might not even ask himself why he needs to heal that.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Well, why do I need to heal that?" No, that's part of my identity. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
Like,
If it's in my field, I'm doing this process all the time, whether it's mine or somebody else's,
for sure.
you know, and that just seems to be the right thing to do, because otherwise then I'm guarding, protecting. You know, I gotta put up barriers, and then that makes me constrict if I do that. You know, the more I try to protect. Oh, that's my cousin, the giant canvas. That's my
Yeah.
That's my cousin.
Support.
I don't see him a lot. Always good to see the brother. So, at least I know he's behind that little icon there. Yeah. But yeah. I don't. When people ask me too how to protect yourself from negative energy, I teach them this inner process, and if they're feeling it, then heal it like as if it's their own, and just stay there. Keep open. Stay with that. Of course, you can use some discernment. You don't have to keep going up into people's presence, and keeping bad company and stuff. But if you're feeling it, and believe it or not, a lot of times now, because I'm not making a judgment about it being good or bad, right or wrong, I just keep opening. The issue doesn't even stick. Like negativity doesn't stick. My attention is not on that as a judgment. It is what it is. But I'm doing this thing.
I think it's important that you look, for me personally, that I attracted the situation, and then I put it in front of me, and then heal it because I attracted the situation. The reason why I do that, because I don't want to attract it when it's as some people say, like, kill the monster while it's little. Don't wait till it gets too big. And that goes back to your breathing. Like, just kill the monster while it's little by being more proactive in your breath and doing what feeds your soul sooner than later.
That's true. Yeah, because all day, if you start making it bigger and bigger, yeah, and don't take the time to feel into it fully, it could just turn into a habit of going right to victim mode and feeling trauma. Yeah, it can go there. But the good news is we are never lost. Yeah, never lost. Because in every moment, even in the deepest, what's that, mire of sadness, depression, circumstance, it is still true. If we really acknowledge and feel into it, it's still true that source that is allowing our very consciousness and existence and breathing us into being, saying yes to our existence. And we just acknowledge that, and then as we just acknowledge that, more of that comes in. Hey, that's a long way from the block. That's my guy. That's my friend Anthony. He got but I wanted to share that
yes, for sure.
we are never lost. And in fact, when people are really, really depressed, I don't say it right out, but sometimes I'll just say I know they're not really telling the truth of what their experience is in the moment. Because even though it's true that they're overwhelmed with depression, it is still true there's an intelligence that allows their awareness and consciousness that allows them to be aware that they are depressed.
Oh, interesting.
So that source of awareness that's allowing you to even be aware that you are depressed is here. And that was here before you were depressed. And then when depression is gone, that will still be here. So open to that which was already here.
And you're and also taking from there is that can guide you out of depression.
By its nature. If you just acknowledge that, by its nature, that's enough. That could be enough. By the nature of awareness of consciousness, that's enough. Mm-hmm.
I tell people to it's depression is a good place to travel, but not a good place to live.
Mm. Yeah.
Because I don't believe any emotions are bad, and that depression is coming to you for a reason, and it's good to address whatever you need to address or whatever we need to address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If anytime you try to not feel something, that's hard. It could be anything. But what we can do is open and feel it all the way through to see, and just open and feel it all the way through to see what's at the core, what is present already, and what the soul is yearning for, because that's also present, and it usually expands and deepens the good feelings, and the negative feelings allows them to dissipate when they encounter the truth.
Well, thank you very much, Jerome, and thank you, Corona.
It's like the little thing right here.
Good work, Jerome, helping us all through the process, and good work, Corona, playing full out.
Always happy.
You know what I want to say, because you just went through the process.
Yeah.
And that's not a small thing. Yeah, that's not a small thing. But you did say yes. I think you did say yes. So we went through it, but that's not a small thing. It's a journey. That's the journey from the head to the heart. 7 chakras deep.
and Corona, keep that light shining, or I'm gonna be on the freeway with a 2x4.
I'd rather get bitch slapped.
You said it. Everybody have a great day.
All love.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.